back to episode 9 of Film Focus, a weekly independent movie review show with me, Fred Black.
I'm Anthony Squire.
So we're doing lots of new films this week. Lots of new films. Very, very different films. Very, very different films. Very, very...
Boring if they're all the same.
It would. I don't know why I say that every week, but you know, they are. You can't just review 4 action films of a week and get away with it.
You get bored if we're doing action films all the time.
Yeah, we would do. But yeah, we start off with our first film. We're going to start off very quickly with our first film, Miss Bala, which was little kind of foreign, Mexican film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all subtitled. It's basically an 18, 19-year-old Mexican girl dreams of being a beauty queen.
Yeah, she's got a beauty pageant for her town or country, isn't it?
As it turns out, organised crime takes over her life.
Yeah, her and her friend go to this club one night, and it just organised like this criminal gang just take it over and hijack her essentially, and get her to like do all this drug trafficking stuff for them, and essentially just control her life. And it's based on a true story, which is a bit shocking. If it's actually
well, they always say they're based on a true story. I might just be a little bit over cynical there, but
I suppose so. I mean, we had a trailer this week that said it was based on a true story. I was like, yeah, maybe not.
Yes, someone walked down that street. It doesn't mean you can base an entire film on it.
That is true. Yeah, that'd be a pretty boring film.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
I know.
Based on true events, and then you find out someone happened to have walked up the same set of stairs.
Yeah, but Miss Bala was. I was not impressed with it that much. Actually, it's the last film I watched out of all the films this week, and there were much better things we watched this week. I wasn't impressed with it at all.
The pace of the film overall it was okay. I found this whole film it was good overall. The acting was reasonable, but the whole film itself, it had so much more potential. It could have been so
underwhelming.
Much more.
Yeah, it was so underwhelming. I mean, the director obviously loved to use all these like long, elaborate camera shots, and even if it was just like something like tracing back and forth across a room and seeing what was happening as it unfolded. But it was just not done well. I mean, you can do long shots in films. I mean, you've got like films like The Dark Knight, where they use lots of long tracking shots and they use lots of long drawn out shots, but there's stuff happening in it, and it's always got something to keep your attention focused, whereas
these ones were just shots that just...
Lots of shots of the back of her head as well. I didn't quite get that, if that was meant to be some sort of significance.
I wasn't sure if it was meant to imply there was someone following her, or
but then
the cameraman was just lazy.
Get another shot at the back of her head, it'll be fine, you can do that. But yeah, there were lots of shots of the back of her head, just lots of drawn out shots. I was reminded of a film I saw ages ago called Elephant. It's one of those films like about the Columbine shootings, and it was just like following the kids around the day that it happened. It wasn't a documentary or some sort of drama.
Yeah.
But it was just lots of long drawn out shots of them walking down a corridor. There wasn't like any conversation going on. It was just long drawn out shots.
Did they have like really tense background music?
No, nothing. It was just them walking, and it was stuff like that. It's just like you don't really need to see it.
It just makes the film boring.
Yeah, but it's what I felt like with this film. There were lots of shots that you're just like, I didn't need to see that. Not because it's like gross or just disturbing or anything. It was boring. It was boring. Yeah. And for that fact, I gave it a 3. It was just really, really dull.
I thought it had a good story overall. It was just... I'm just repeating myself now. It had so much more potential. It could have gone a little bit further. The acting was good. I gave it a 6.
Yeah, but it had potential. But this is like an Oscar nomination as well. I don't know what Oscar it was nominated for. But on the DVD it said it was like an Oscar-nominated film.
Yeah, but you can get an Oscar for anything these days.
This is true. I mean, it could have been like best sound design or best visual, best editing or something like that.
The set with the best shirt.
Yeah. The amount of Oscars they dish out is ridiculous. I mean, speaking of which, have you seen the Razzies?
No.
The Razzie nominations that have come up. You must have heard something about that. They're brilliant. Adam Sandler is up for 11 Razzie nominations. He's also up for Worst Actress. Because if you've heard that film, Jack and Jill, the Razzies, just if you need to go find the Razzie nomination and have a look at those, because it's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Miss Bala, I really was not impressed by it.
I liked the ending. I won't ruin it for you, but
I can't even remember it.
like I said, it could have achieved so much
I can't
more.
even remember the ending now. I'm trying to think desperately of the ending, and I'm just like, how's it? I don't know.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me soon, but yeah, but it's just forgettable tosh, really. I admire what they're kind of trying to do with it. They're trying to make it kind of dark and eerie movie about drug trafficking and everything. But
Yeah.
saying that, it's all about drug traffickers. There wasn't a single hint of drugs in it, as far as I could see.
There were. It was more...
Because
You have
she
to be
does
paying
have, she
attention.
has that bit where she has to like transport money across the border, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But as far as like drug trafficking, I was like, I haven't seen any drugs really. I don't think I remember seeing any of those sorts of things. So
They were, but you had to look.
you had to
specifically.
really look.
You had to really look. I mean, some of the shots where you'd have two of the main characters talking and then people in the background, and I found myself having to...
Yeah, just like, move out the way. That's more interesting. But yeah, I really just didn't get it. I have to give it a 3 because it was just so boring and it wasn't predictable. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen from one minute to the next, but it was so poorly done. It felt like it was just given a bit of a half-assed effort into it, and
Yeah, there was a genuine lack of enthusiasm in there, but I felt the story overall, it was good. The acting, reasonable. I stick with a 6.
yeah. I'll stick with a 3, and I can't give it any more than that. It's just, I am repeating myself over and over again, but it was just too bloody dull. I think we'll just move on to our
Putting
trailers.
that to one side.
Yeah, we'll move on to our more exciting trailers. And
The Avengers, the second Avengers trailer.
Yeah, we move on to the Avengers. They released a new trailer this week, and oh my god, there's lots of new stuff to get excited about in it.
The Hulk just jumps across, grabs a person who's falling down from the sky.
This grabs Iron Man.
Yeah, and he puts his hand in the building and...
Yeah, this Joss Whedon doing like the superhero collective film.
Yeah.
We got Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, and
bow and arrow guy.
who is the bow and arrow guy? Someone will correct us on that.
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, the trailer just puts more explosions, more destruction, more general mayhem. Plus, you got like more fight sequences in it. You got Iron Man fighting Thor. You got Captain America fighting Thor, and you got just tons of people just going hell for leather at it. And
I really hope it does. It is as good as Captain America was last year.
I think it'll be better. I've got lots of faith in Joss Whedon to pull off something that fans of the comics will actually like. Plus the big reveal of another bad guy, big mechanical beast,
That was brilliant. Where
Just
Iron Man flies.
It just flies around a building, and this huge, essentially just like this huge mechanical dragon comes round the building after him, like smashes through it, and it's like the wanton destruction that goes on during this film. It looks fantastic. It's definitely going to be a big spectacle.
I'm looking forward to this one when it comes out.
Was there any mention of 3D as well? Do you remember any?
No, there wasn't.
I don't think there is there?
For once, there actually wasn't.
Well, yeah, that surprises me actually. I mean, not that I want to see 3D in a film like this, because 3D can fuck off, to be honest.
Yeah, 3D wouldn't. Well,
but it's one of those films. Like it's been such a hyped up film that you would think someone would think, go, oh, let's put it in 3D. Excuse me, let's put it in 3D.
Well, maybe for once they thought, you know what, everyone else is doing 3D. Let's do something different and stick with 2D.
2D, like how films have been for the past 100 years.
Yeah.
Well, there's just to be a shocking behavioural twist there. But yes, it looks incredible. This trailer it looks really good.
Explosions, the Hulk.
Yeah, lots more footage of the Hulk as well, because he's been pretty quiet up until now. Only problem I can see with it is that if Scarlett Johansson and the other guy, this guy we can't remember the name of with the bow and arrow, they seem a little underwhelmed. They're kind of underprepared for the film.
Oh, that'll be alright.
And I was saying this to you before the show. It's like if they don't have something like significant to do, then they might feel like they're just there for the ride and they're not needed really.
No, hopefully Joss Whedon will have them all interacting.
I hope so.
Not just the 4 main ones and then go get me a coffee, as he
Yeah. Go get us a coffee, love, go, oh, yeah. No, but that's the Avengers one. Next, a film that's out in cinemas, like, very, very soon, like, literally next week.
John Carter.
Yeah.
It's a Disney film.
Yeah.
It's basically Gladiator style, but with futuristic bad guys and all set on Mars.
It's just the
I'm
story.
just really curious about this one.
Well, the Empire magazine have already brought out their review of it because they get all these pre-release stuff of it, and they gave it 3 out of 5 stars and said that it was the action sequences were like underwhelming and completely forgettable, but it was a great world that they've created. It's like a great, planetary system and all this sort of stuff. All this sort of stuff. Yeah, I can't find myself getting excited about this.
I'm not excited about it. I'm curious about it.
Yeah,
it just looks like Gladiator 2. But
Gladiator 2, the future, the Mars chapter.
Yeah.
We just have Russell Crowe thrown onto Mars. Fight these aliens, man.
It's like, oh my god, it's happening again, even though I died in the first one.
Well, this is it. I mean, like it would be like the most ridiculous thing to make a sequel to Gladiator, wouldn't it? Because you have no of the original characters.
If you're going to make a sequel to Gladiator, you need a B-movie director to do it.
Well, I think there probably is, because that's probably the only way it's going to happen. I mean, Ridley Scott is a hard name to follow, so it's going to be B-movies. So one of those people that thinks, yeah, I can do this.
I mean, if they could do a Titanic 2, I'm sure they could do a...
Oh god, they did Titanic 2, didn't
The trailer for Titanic 2, when I saw it a few months ago, was brilliant. You had the text on the screen was 100 years later,
they?
the same location, the same place, and to be honest, probably the same iceberg.
No, it just got a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And
the ship itself is even called Titanic 2.
This is just the thing you don't name a boat, isn't it?
I just love to meet the people who come up with the idea for that sequel. I can just imagine them in a room going, no, what should we do this film about? I know. Let's do a sequel to Titanic 2.
Exactly.
What's going to happen in it? I know. It could hit an iceberg. I know. It could be the same iceberg.
It's just ridiculous. But John Carter, I can't. It's just.
I'm curious about it. It just.
Like it's not exactly my cup of tea. I don't think it'll be fun to like waste a Saturday night watching, but that'll be it. It's a Disney film as well, so there's going to be some moral message somewhere in there. Like
Oh, that'd be beautiful. Like, even
what
main guy killed all these people on this planet. Remember, clean up your mess.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be some stupid message like that. There'll be no moral messages, however, in our next trailer, Piranha 3 Double D.
This trailer, David Hasselhoff's going to be in it.
I think my hangover's coming on again. This film looks like the most ridiculous movie ever made.
You've got basically piranhas coming through
like drainage systems and stuff to a water park.
A bit where the woman's in the bathtub and suddenly a small tiny piranha just falls out the bathtub.
Oh yeah, it seems to make its way into housing estates and stuff as well, doesn't it? And they essentially the piranhas that were in the first film
have mutated
and gone to find other, just gone into everybody's everyday life and everything. It's just. But the thing is, you've got like Christopher Lloyd being the mad scientist again. You've got David Hasselhoff as a lifeguard, and taking the piss out of it immensely. And you've got Ving Rhames with guns for legs, which of course isn't a play on Planet Terror at all.
Wow. No, not well. Obviously it is.
And it will be one of the. I think it'd probably be one of the worst films of the year.
I really want to watch it because it just it's got B movie. Obviously, it's B movie.
It's definite B movie quality.
I remember when I watched Mega Piranha a couple of years ago. That was good.
And I know you've never actually thought to watch it since.
Well, a couple of times, but
But yeah, that's.
This trailer looks good. It just looks like good fun.
It looks terrible, to be honest. It looks just really, really fucking bad. Really fucking bad. I don't get it at all.
But I love those sort of bad films where the actors, they know it's a bad script. They can't. Most of them probably can't even act, but they give it all that enthusiasm because they just don't care.
That's true. That's true, actually.
That's what makes B movies so beautiful.
You do know your B movies a lot, don't you? You do love them. Anyway, the next trailer.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, next trailer from that epic shitfest is Bernie. Yeah, Bernie. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Bernie.
Didn't write many notes down for it. I just wrote interesting.
Well, yeah, it's got Jack Black as some mortician, and again, this one says it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And he befriends this old woman who's really mean to him. He just kind of tries to see the good in everyone and befriends her. And the plot seems to be that
they become good friends.
They buy all this like nice stuff and everything, and then somehow
she dies.
She dies. Yeah, and it's all the thing like, did he murder her? Did he not? And all
the trailer really wants to make you believe he did because in that blatant shot.
Yeah, I think I'm not. Well, I don't know. Maybe the film will leave it, just a bit ambiguous and just not answer it completely. I can't see them answering the question of it.
I don't really want to watch this film.
Really? Why not? See,
it's Jack Black. I mean,
yeah, but he's doing something a little more restrained than he usually does. You got to admit.
True.
He's not doing like School of Rock kind of thing. Just kind of all out there. Tenacious D kind of thing. He is a little bit more restrained in his character, and it does look to be more of a kind of thought out performance from him. Even though it is a kind of cheeky comedy. I'm actually quite interested by it. I do like the look of it. And I think we'll have to watch it when it comes out. Have to watch it. No buts, no ifs.
Yeah, we will. Moving on.
I see Piranha 3 Double D, you say, we have to see this as soon as it comes out, but Bernie is like, film that looks actually interesting.
I'll wait and see on that one.
And our final trailer is a very good one. I'm actually excited about this one.
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frankenweenie. Tim Burton's short film, put onto the big screen.
I'm looking
forward. Given a big screen treatment.
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah. I mean, obviously, some kid's dog dies. He brings it back to life. The trailer was good. I mean, the reference to Halloween at the end.
No, that's not that. That was on Paranorman.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was on Paranorman. No, there's a reference. There's like Bride of Frankenstein references in it and everything. It's Tim Burton doing like one of his original ideas, and Tim Burton doesn't really do original ideas anymore. He hasn't had like an original idea since, I don't know. But all his films you see are like remakes or stuff like that. Because Alice in Wonderland, big remake. He's done.
Was that good? I never watched it.
Nah, not really. It was pretty just average Tim Burton stuff, really. I mean, you had Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter in there,
obviously,
as usual, and it was just like you're watching a Tim Burton film. It's all quirky and
pantomime.
But it wasn't terribly good. Frankenweenie though does look very good.
It looks like a good fun film. I mean, that bit where the dog's alive.
Ooh. Yes, that guy who looks like some sort of mad, like Igor assistant kind of thing. Yeah. I burst out laughing at that bit because it was just you just don't expect it. It was just like he's alive. It's a really good trailer actually. I'm
looking forward to this one. It just looks like a good fun film.
Unfortunately, it'll be in 3D, but we'll strive to see the 2D version.
I'm pretty sure most cinemas do show 2D versions as well.
Yeah, they do. And I've started seeing 2D films a lot more than 3D films now.
Yeah. I mean, something I've never understood about 3D films is they never take into account people who wear glasses.
No.
You've got to put your 3D glasses on over your normal glasses. But putting that to one side.
Yes, exactly. And that ends our films, our trailers for this week. All found on Apple.com and Empire as well, Empire magazines. So those are the websites we use and all that. And the next film, what's the next film we're looking at? I can't remember.
Real Steel.
Real Steel.
It's basically set in the future. It's kind of like Rocky, but with robots.
Kind of a future where people want to see more kind of violent and hyped up fights, so they get robots to fight for them.
I mean, it's predictable. The film itself is predictable in terms of the boy's mum dies, then you meet, the father and the son getting to know each other, and along the way they find this disused robot who obviously goes on to fight and goes on to become a very good fighter.
And yeah, as essentially, you cannot watch this film without thinking, oh, it's Rocky for robots. Yeah. And it is Rocky for robots, and it's all done very well. I was surprised with it.
It was predictable, but the fighting scenes between robots were really good.
They were very well done, weren't they? I mean, it's always good when it was boxing style fighting, but there were just some little extra kind of tweaks thrown into the fights. So you had little flips and running around stuff, and it was all very flashy, very effective. Visual effects were very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a predictable little film.
Predictable. I mean, the pace of the film overall was good. The acting, overall it was good. I mean, Hugh Jackman.
Yep, Hugh Jackman.
He was good.
AKA Wolverine.
No, I kept expecting the claws.
The claws. He would jump into the ring and fight with his claws. But yeah, it's all very good. But the thing is, as the final fight kind of gets underway, I was all kind of getting riled up and getting into the film. It's one of those films that just kind of, it made me kind of get engaged with it, get into it.
I didn't really get engaged into it. I found it was fun, it was enjoyable, a bit too predictable. The acting was okay. I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 7. It was definitely one of the better films we've seen this week. Compared to Miss Bala, it was the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. But yeah, for something that so mainstream a film, that you would expect looking at it just to go, oh, that looks like a piece of crap. It just actually impressed me a lot more than I thought it was going to.
The robot fighting was good, but the overall story, it was just a little bit too predictable for me.
Well, as I say, lots of cliches. I mean, you've got, they get to know each other, like the father and son get to know each other, then they obviously fall out, and then they obviously get back together again, for the final sequence. It's it's like the plot of most rom-coms and the plot of most action films and all that, and buddy movies, rolled up into one.
I'd have loved it in the last robot fight, as the robot looks like he's about to get beaten for Rocky to come out.
Oh yeah. I think they could have explored a little bit more of the plot where the robot thinks for itself.
Yeah, that was sort of tailored off.
Yeah, it was all this thing the kid has this thing where he looks into that robot and he's just like, you can hear me, can't you? You can understand what I'm saying.
The robot was actually acknowledging it.
Yeah, and he was doing all these things. He was thinking for itself.
Because at one point I thought the robot was going to say, I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah,
but
I was expecting the robot to speak and fight for itself, because they have a bit where everything goes wrong in the final fight and all that, and I was expecting it to get up and fight for itself, but no. It kind of it could have made that a lot more than it did. But yeah, apart from that, I can't really find any problems with this film. It's just entertaining action fodder.
It's a good entertaining film to watch, but like I said, a little bit too predictable.
Can't really complain about predictability in films now. You have to go some to find a not really predictable film.
You can have really predictable films. I mean, B movies, they're predictable, but
oh god, yes.
But at the same time, the overall pace of them is really good. They're fun. It's predictable, but the humour's good.
Yeah.
The action's good. This one, predictability, they didn't do enough to.
No, I think that. Maybe, but I think it was still kind of worth it. It was worth watching once.
Definitely worth watching.
I mean, you had good humour. I thought you had good humour, especially from the kid.
It was
doing his little dance routines. He does those dance routines with the robot, which is completely bizarre, but very fun to get. To just
it needed just a little bit more humour.
Maybe
I'm just being too picky.
No. I can get what you mean. It did take itself a little bit too seriously. Than films do nowadays. I think every single film you see released in the cinema is just like, this is deadly serious. This is make or break film. And no, it's not. Can't just treat it.
Say deadly serious, and I keep thinking of all the Oscars, and they get Oscars for anything.
God, yes.
What you were saying earlier.
Yeah, Miss Bala being an Oscar-nominated film. This could.
Yeah, Miss Bala wasn't
Oscar worthy at all. No, it was just stupid.
It only got an Oscar probably because of its idea.
Yeah, best original adapted screenplay or original screenplay, and it's just like, yeah, someone wrote a good
That would
script.
make me laugh though, like Oscar for the best tie.
Well, they do like best costume design and stuff like that, don't they? So, you know, all that sort of things. I mean, not to knock it or anything. I mean, you know, you make good costumes. They're, you know, good to look at. It's all good. But yeah, Oscars are a bit hyped up for their own good, in my opinion. I don't know. We're just rambling on here about random shit.
Sorry, we're just going on and on now.
So I think we'll end it there.
I think it brings us to the end of the show.
Yep, it does. So we will see you for part 2 tomorrow, won't we? Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Yep. Take care. See you later, guys. Bye.